What's up YouTube? DK, we are back with another top 10 countdown, finally, but this time it is not Final Fantasy. Today we are going to talk about Kingdom Hearts. Now if there's one thing that really pisses me off, is people who have this "if you don't play like me, you suck" attitude. I understand that some people enjoy the thrill of a challenge and they love to handicap themselves. That's all fun and good, even I do it sometimes. However, some of these people also look down on others who choose not to do it. This isn't limited to just Kingdom Hearts, it's the whole gaming community. You people need to understand that not everybody shares your fetish for handicapping yourself. Some people just want to win. If that person is satisfied because they won using overpowered shit, then fine, let them do it. So, let's go guys. These are the top 10 Kingdom Hearts. You are a scrub. Using limit commands to avoid damage. Kingdom Hearts 2. Limit commands are supposed to be used to do lots of damage, but that's not why people spam these. These things are spammed simply because during the animation you are completely immune to any and all damage. Donna's Fantasia is the most broken out of these simply because you can fully control Sora during the animation and it lasts a very long time. In some cases, like Lingua Will for example, it's much more effective to learn how to block their attacks normally. And in other cases, like Vexen, you would have to be either insane or some kind of Kingdom Hearts god to not spam these. Number 9. Spamming shot locks. Birth by sleep. Let's make one thing perfectly clear before we continue. This game is not balanced. Very similar to the limit commands in Kingdom Hearts 2, the main use of shot locks is to avoid taking damage. But there are two major differences. One, they can be spammed much more often, and two, they do a shit ton of damage. In all honesty, it's almost as if this game was designed to be played this way. Yes, you can fight them normally, but why the hell would you do that? Especially when half of the enemies in this game can break out of any combo you do at will. The designers must have been on some serious crack when they designed this one. Spamming Strike Raid, Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm starting to notice a pattern here. Again, very similar to the first two, but this can be spammed even more, especially with Goofy's MP gift, assuming he uses it on time. The funny thing is, you probably won't actually use this attack until much later on in the game against the super bosses, because up to this point, the entire game has been a complete button masher. I think Square realized how OP this thing really was, which is one of the reasons why MP raids got nerfed. And unfortunately, that makes Sephiroth a lot harder to beat. I'm not gonna lie, the only way I can beat Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1 is by spamming Strike Raid. I mean, come on, it does a lot of damage, it only costs 2 MP, and it's a fast way to stop that goddamn Heartless Angel. So why the fuck would you not use it? Oh, because it's a lot more fun without it. Yeah, if your idea of fun is dying over and over. Choosing not to play the game at level 1. There really aren't that many people who will look down on you for not doing this because only a handful of people in the entire world are crazy enough to try this shit. But this is not something the game has made up. This was specifically placed in the game by the creators to give you a challenge. It might not seem like that much of a big deal at first until you remember one minor detail. You all know as well as I do, there's only one reason why nobody wants to do this shit. You see, if you never level up, that means Sora misses out on a lot of abilities. Most importantly, second chance and once more. I mean, seriously, do I really need to explain this? Even at level 99, take those shits off and see what happens. Spamming the surges, birth by sleep. Oh yes, for some completely illogical reason, people feel so much more macho after they beat a boss without using the surges. I have one question to ask you. Exactly what point are you trying to prove? And even then, if you're not using surges, you're probably using shock locks. Surge works on every opponent in the game. Each and every single one. Anybody who has played this game before knows full well why many people rely solely on the surges to win their battles, because there is no reason to use anything else. It requires absolutely no skill. All you have to do is use it. It does a lot of damage, it's very easy to get, it recharges very fast, it only takes up one slot, and just like shock locks, you are completely immune to damage while you're using it. Just imagine for a moment playing Birth by Sleep without shock locks or surges. I'll wait. Using the Fenrir Keyblade on Lingering Will. Please, for fuck's sake, this is for your own good. Don't do this, because if you do, people will hate you for life. They fucking hate this. Now, there's one thing you need to keep in mind. In order to do this, you need the Fenrir Keyblade. And how do you get the Fenrir Keyblade? By defeating Sephiroth. So yeah, you're gonna need a little skill to do that. The sad fact is, there are many people who were unable to get the trophy without doing this. I personally don't have a problem with people doing this. Like I said, it's your pride. If you're satisfied, go ahead and do it. The real question is, how the fuck did Square allow this to happen? Spamming Limit Form, Kingdom Hearts 2. Although this isn't going to work on every fight in the game, it does work on most of them. Simply drive into Limit Form and spam your commands over and over and over. Unlike other forms, you can use this without the aid of Donald and Goofy, which is very good news considering that they die very, very fast. Although you can still get hit while using your commands, that's not going to be a problem most of the time. Sora heals HP, and when you do get hit, your MP also restores thanks to MP Rage. You can defeat most of the data battles simply by spamming this. Just keep an eye on your MP. There was once a time when I relied solely on Limit Form in order to win all of my fights. I'm a lot better at this game now, but I still need this thing for Vexen. I just cannot figure this guy out. The fire loop never seems to work for me. Using Sonic Blade and Chain of Memories. Oh yes, you will definitely be called a scrub if you do this. There is a really good reason why nobody likes this game. It is not a button masher. You need to think and learn how the game actually works. You can't even heal your HP if you don't play your cards right. But there's one slate that says fuck you and everything you stand for. Sonic Blade hits very hard against most enemies in the game and even some late game bosses. It requires 3 different Keyblades with values equaling between 20 and 23. Using a combination of 7s and 8s can easily get this done. This also gives you high enough value to deal with those annoying flying enemies who are immune to it. Against most of the bosses, it's a simple matter of pressing the triangle button over and over and over and over again. No thinking required. However, later on in the game, eventually it might stop working because a few bosses have high defense and high HP. At that point, you might want to start learning how the game actually works. Using Aqua and Van, but you simply refuse to use Terra. If you can't beat the super bosses in Birth by Sleep with Terra, you will be considered a noob. I have absolutely no intention of beating the super bosses in this game using Terra. It's not going to fucking happen. It's not. The entire battle is spent mashing the square button because you need to dodge. It is a necessity. Unfortunately, Terra does not know how to dodge. As long as you keep mashing the square button, Aqua and Van are pretty much unkillable. The reason for this is because the cartwheel and dodge roll has no startup time and no cooldown lag. All you have to do is keep mashing the square button and wait patiently until you get a free hit. Unfortunately, this is not the case with Terra. You need much more skill if you plan on using this guy. His dash has startup time lag and cooldown time lag. This means if you plan on using Terra, you need to properly time your dodges. The problem with this is that the enemies attack you very, very fast. You don't have time to react. You can find videos of people beating this guy with Terra, but they all pretty much do the exact same thing. They either spam shot locks like there's no tomorrow, or they spam thunder surge like there's no tomorrow. There's really no other way to beat this guy. Maybe one day I will try to beat the mysterious figure with Terra, but I will wait until he's at level 99. I have absolutely no intention of handicapping myself in this battle. It is completely unfair. Okay guys, it is finally time for the #1 reason you will be considered a scrub in Kingdom Hearts. This countdown is actually a co-op with my buddy and #1 fan JOC. So I will let him explain this one, especially considering the fact that I haven't played this game yet, so I don't know how broken it really is. But even then, I hear about this spam all the time. You cannot escape it. This is the #1 reason you will be called a scrub in Kingdom Hearts. Spamming balloon in dream drop distance. Like I said, I've never actually played this game myself, so I don't know why it's so overpowered. So JOC, exactly what is the deal with balloon?
What's up guys, JOC217 here, and today I will be discussing in great detail why the balloon spells in Dream Drop Distance are so cheap and broken and why so many people on the internet degrade those people that use it. For those of you that don't know what the balloon spells are, they're pretty much upgraded versions of the mind spells from Birth by Sleep, and there are 3 different spells. Balloon casts a ring of balloons around the user and stays there until the enemy runs into them or until balloon recharges. Balloon Ra casts 5 balloons in front of you and shoots them directly at the enemy, and Balloon Ga casts a giant balloon that slowly hones in on the enemy and breaks into smaller balloons that also hone in on the enemy and do damage. Now, the balloon spells are mainly known for simply dishing out a ton of damage to the enemies, but there is a lot more to it than just that. For starters, the balloon spells stun enemies in the game 10 times more often than any other attack that the game has to offer. Also, the balloon spells charge at an enormously fast rate on their own without the help from Magic Haste. I'd also like to add that once you visit the Hunchback of Notre Dame's world, you can actually buy as many of the level 1 balloon spells as you please, but once you reach a certain point in the game, they become unbuyable, and the only way to get them is through Dream Eaters or buying them from the Flick Rush arena. If those reasons aren't quite enough to explain why Balloon is cheap and broken, the main reason why Balloon is so good is the fact that it works on every single enemy in the game. For some reason, the enemy AI isn't smart enough to realize that the balloons hurt and that they should avoid them at all costs. Instead, they will just continuously run into them and take all the damage that Balloon dishes out. A prime example of this is the fight against Julius. Julius is supposed to be one of the super bosses of this game, but thanks to the brokenness of the balloon spells, he is a complete cakewalk. Even though Julius is the most well known for the brokenness of Balloon, keep in mind that most of the other bosses act in the same exact manner. There are only 2 bosses in this game that I can think of where Balloon isn't as effective as it should be. The first boss is Holy Moly because of the fact that he constantly burrows into the wall and teleports everywhere, which leaves you little to no time to attack him, and the second boss is the fight against young Xehanort when you have to destroy the clock, since the balloons can end up hitting his clones and not the clock. Other than that, the balloon spells will make any boss fight 10 times easier to win. Fellow YouTuber and Kingdom Hearts speedrunner Biscuit047 mentions that if someone doesn't use Balloon in this game, then that person is handicapping themselves, and he is absolutely right about that statement. If you decide to use Balloon when you play Dream Drop Distance, there's only 3 things that you will be doing throughout this entire game: spamming balloon spells, dodge rolling until it recharges, and healing when you get hit. That is literally all it takes for someone to beat this game, and that is the exact reason why so many people give the balloon users so much hate. For me personally, I don't really like using the balloon spells when I play this game, just because of the fact that simply spamming balloon spells and dodging until it recharges tends to make the game very repetitive and boring at times. That's just the way I feel about them, and if spamming balloon spells doesn't bother you at all, then by all means use them. The bosses in this game are 10 times harder without them anyway. Thank you so much for listening to my explanation. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later. Be safe. Terra.
Thank you so much for that explanation, Jock. So, even BizKid himself said if you don't use Balloon, you are handicapping yourself? In that case, I will make absolutely sure when this game comes on PS4 that I spam the hell out of it. I guess you can say this was both a top 10 and a rant at the same time. Why the hell are people so bothered when they see somebody playing a game differently than the way they play it? Unless you plan on paying me cash money for handicapping myself, I'm going to play these games any way I damn well please. And usually, when people play for cash money, they do whatever it takes to win. So, I have a message for all you spammers out there. The next time somebody craps on you for using overpowered shit, tell them 3 words. Go get fucked. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. You can also support me on Twitch and my Patreon page. We will see you guys later. Take it easy.